From Del Rio, Texas, Rob Wade and Robert Garza. Two guys who dive. This episode of Two Guys Who Dive, recorded live Saturday, 24 May, 2014. Episode 104. It's a miracle. Well, welcome once again to another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive, and I am your host, Rob Wade, and hopefully I'll be joined shortly by my co-host, Robert Garza. He is en route. He said, I'll be there, so we'll see what time that turns out to be. So he's on his way. We have had some exciting times here in Casa de Guade, which I'll be sharing with you in a little bit. We got some exciting things going on this weekend, too. Of course, it is Memorial Day weekend, and yours truly regularly participates in the city's celebration, recognition of that holiday. We normally have an event at the Civic Center here in Del Rio, Texas, where we have keynote speakers. A number of our politicians give their welcome and their words of honor, remembrance for those who have given their lives in service, and also are, of course, putting their lives on the line as our members of the military are doing even to this day to protect our freedoms that allows us to even do this podcast. You know, it's a freedom that a lot of countries do not share. I mean, they watch. You go to China, North Korea, certainly, and a number of places around the world, and you will not see them have this kind of freedom to just run up a podcast out of their home and just say whatever they want to say over the internet. Everything's guarded, watched. Big Brother is on top of those folks. So we have great freedoms here, and it's important to remember that this freedom comes at a cost. It came at a cost to create this great nation of ours, and it has cost many, many lives to preserve it, as well as help spread the good news of having this kind of freedom around the world. So our church is going to be, of course, observing that as well. But on Monday, of course, it's a federal holiday, and we'll have a number of speakers, etc., and I will be singing at the event. I normally, in the past, I've done the national anthem and Lee Greenwood's "God Bless USA." They've got somebody else doing the national anthem this year. But I will be doing God Bless USA. So if you're in the Del Rio area and got nothing to do and you actually would like to help us celebrate the reason why this holiday exists, instead of just taking the day off to fry up hamburgers and that kind of thing, we invite you to come out to Del Rio, out to the Civic Center, and join us, celebrate those who are in service and honor those who have given their lives for service. So that's coming up on Monday. Let's see. Still waiting on Scubadog to get here. Some tech news. And I'm sure Robert would like to share probably some Apple-based, Apple-sourced tech news, but we've been having a number of updates, at least monthly, for the Xbox One, which that's the first console gaming console that we have ever purchased, because I'm a PC gamer. I like the quality of games, the quality of the graphics, sound, everything that excuse me, that I can get on this computer that we also happen to be using for our podcast. You just can't do you can't get the quality I can get on this machine on any gaming console, even the newest ones, the PS4 and the Xbox One. Having said that, the reason why we bought the Xbox One, it was not for the gaming, but for all of the media capability that it has. So, and we've been really taking advantage of that. Love not only what it can do, but it keeps getting better as they do these updates. Well, of course, since it has its genesis and is still primarily a gaming platform, a number of the updates that have been coming out for the Xbox One have been, of course, more related to improving the user experience for those who are doing the gaming thing. Well, for the uninitiated, for the unwashed masses, the Xbox One shares a number of features with the Windows operating system. It uses tiles, somewhat live. I would like to see it go more live, but tiles similar to the Metro interface on Windows Phone, as well as the Windows tablet / desktop. Excuse me, got a little bit of tickle in my throat. This is what happens when you're doing yard work and you kick up stuff and you already have allergies. It's not good. It gets in your upper respiratory and creates coughs. I hate that, especially when I'm trying to do a show. It's really annoying. So anyway, having said that, the one of the things that they improved on in this latest update was individual volume controls. Now you're thinking, well, what does that mean? Up to this point, the Xbox One, you had one volume control that you could work. Now, I say one volume control. There is a volume control if you're using the sound built in. Now, obviously, because we're using it for our home entertainment system, not for gaming, we've got it plugged in using optical cable to our home theater system. So we get really good quality sound, the full surround sound thing, and it's great. And so what you're able to do, you can do voice commands that actually have it talk to your sound system in most cases. So you can say Xbox volume up, and it will incrementally move the volume up or down depending on what your command is, and it actually talks through the Xbox to our sound system, which is way cool. Love it. But it's just the one volume level for everything. Well, what they did with this last update is if you have two different apps going, because you could be playing a game that's in the main part of the window, and you could have, for instance, snapped to 1/3 of the screen, Skype, or you're listening to music on Xbox Music. So you may want the volume from music playing through your system at a much lower level than the sound effects from your game. Well, up to this point, there was one volume for all things. Now you actually have individual volume controls for both windows, basically. So, that actually is a pretty cool feature. I could imagine if we were listening to music and then somebody comes in on Skype, that I might want to at least lower, if not completely cut off, just the volume for the music. Because if I was just going to cut the volume off on the music, I would probably just pause the music or stop the music. But if I just wanted it low in the background, I have that option, which is a pretty cool feature. And this is just one of those things that as the platform matures and they add more features, just like they did with the Xbox 360, this is just going to be much more user-friendly. I just see so many additional potential capabilities, features, etc., coming down the pipe for the Xbox One. Again, as I've shared before, my nirvana is that Cortana, the AI, the voice interaction system, expands all the way through the entire ecosystem. It's going to go through Windows. It's going to go through Xbox One. The quicker it gets there, the better. So that basically, like Jarvis from Iron Man, it follows me everywhere I go. So I'd like to just be able to walk in the room and Cortana do whatever. So that's a pretty cool feature. And as an unexpected byproduct of that, I don't know if this was intentional by them, by Microsoft, or it was totally accidental. It just happened to be a kind of an interesting bonus. Here comes Graza joining the group here. Already have Ronan right behind me, but here's Graza. Say hi to everybody. Yeah. Get everybody situated back there. I noticed that when you're using the Xbox One, and let's say you're watching television, and you say Xbox go home, or you take both hands and you grab like this, and you kind of pull them together and just push back at the screen, it shrinks, it minimizes the whatever your active window is, and puts it in excuse me, puts it in a frame around which all of your stuff is shown. All your tiles, all your pins, as they call them on the Xbox One, are shown. And it just by a few dB, it drops the volume for it. And then when you say Xbox resume, or you simply reach your hand out and push and pull back to expand that to full screen again, the volume comes back up. Now, actually, I would almost like to see this either configurable or have a much more dramatic change in the volume when you minimize it. So that it sort of almost becomes background, but it's just enough that you can hear it. Or at least be adjustable. That would even be better. But I'd settle for a somewhat arbitrary level that it drops to, something more than what it drops to right now. But I thought that was an interesting feature. I was like, wait a minute, am I imagining that? So I tried it a couple times, and sure enough, that's exactly what's going on. So pretty cool feature with the Xbox One, and I don't know, still don't know where he's at. I'm going to text him here. I should do it. I'm going to do it live. I'm going to do it. Text Robert Garza. Where are you?
You want to text Robert Garza. Where are you? Send it, add more, or try again.
Send it.
I sent your message.
Love it. Thank you, Cortana. You can actually say that to her. Tell her she'll just give you a response. It's my pleasure, or something like that. Love that feature. I use Cortana all the time. So anyway, that was and more features to come. Supposedly with the update coming up in June, one of the features that many people have been really clamoring for is external drive support. There are two USB 3.0 ports on the Xbox One. Oh, there he is. We currently use one of them. I've got a keyboard attached to it because I don't use the controller. There are a couple of instances where the
Read it or ignore it.
Read it.
It says outside. Reply, call back, or are you done?
I'm done. So he should be walking in any second. So anyway, as I was saying, one of the USB ports we currently are using, we've got a keyboard attached to it. We don't use the controller. There's a couple of menus where you have to use the controller, but I'm hoping that eventually they'll update with one of the future updates. They'll remove the necessity of using the controller completely. Because, again, I don't do console gaming. I'd rather do stuff with a keyboard and mouse. You know, for instance, if you're browsing on a... Hello, Robert.
Hello.
For instance, if you're browsing, because it's got a browser on it. If you're browsing, I don't want to be using a joystick to move across the letters. I'm a touch typist. I'd rather type it. And thankfully, with the keyboard plugged in, I can do that. But there are a few menus and in a couple of cases the actual apps where they don't work with a keyboard, so you have to use the controller. So I'm hoping that they in future updates they remove the requirement to use a controller at all. Just let me use the keyboard, because I can type that I'm searching for this movie on Netflix or Hulu Plus or whatever much faster than scrolling a little thing back and forth. A L L, So hopefully they'll be in a future update. But anyway, having said that, we've currently got one of the USB ports where we're using a keyboard with it. Works great. But with the June update, they're adding the much clamored for ability to attach an external hard drive to it. The caveat is it has to be a minimum, I think, of 250 gig, and it has to be USB 3.0 or better. It cannot be one of the older, which is great because, we're talking a lot of, it's fast data that's going to be shoved to it. Because the idea, obviously, is that you're going to be able to store your games, your game files and things like that too.
Right.
One of the features they believe is going to be included with that update for the hard drives is that if you do like the downloadable content for a game, like for Titanfall, they have the Expedition pack now, that you could download it to the hard drive and then go to another place and actually throw that in there, and you instantly have the downloadable content available on somebody else's machine.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's, again, for the console gamers, that's a benefit. So that's cool. Well, how's it going? How was your week?
Trying. Yeah.
I tell you what, you probably noticed that when you were pulled up, I had the compressor going. I'm filling, it just finished filling the last 2 of 4 100 cubic foot steel tanks for some folks who are going diving with us tomorrow. So I'm going to go out there and close everything up. So why don't you share with our viewers what's been going on while I go take care of that?
Okay. Wow. Pure pressure, huh?
It's all on you. You're fertile, man.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that have been actually following the show, I've been out for the last 2 episodes. The last episode couldn't make it, had to go out of town, and I was playing for a retreat for a Catholic retreat thing, and took care of that. And then last week, actually, decided to start, doing raking up some leaves and doing the tedious yard work stuff that everybody has to eventually do. And I've been putting it off because my allergies are horrible with oak trees. And so finally, some of my son's friends and some family members decided to go ahead and volunteer to help. Of course, I'm not going to turn away help, so went ahead and did that. And we tend to, when you work with family and free help, they don't move as quick as somebody who's getting paid, because they want to hurry up and get paid and get out and go to the next job site, obviously. But so was doing that, and then just ran super late. So yeah, and that's pretty much I think pretty it. Also, aside from that, kind of just been keeping busy. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully here, Rob is gonna be doing some diving tomorrow. I know that he sent it out there on the Facebook Dive Club page. So if you're interested in doing a dive, it's going to be tomorrow. If you need air or anything like that, please go ahead and message Rob early, so this way you can get air fills. I think he's filling tanks for people that are already going to go on the dive tomorrow. But if you're going to do it, please get with him as soon as possible so that you can get yourself some air squared away.
That's right. We don't want unsquare air.
Yeah, of course.
We like round air.
But yeah, so that was pretty much my 2 weekends.
Okay, start over? No, okay. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I can always watch it again. That's the cool thing about YouTube.
I was just telling the folks viewing that I'd been absent for the last 2 weeks. First week, I went to go play for Jesus.
That's it. Play for Jesus.
At a retreat. And then last week I had some volunteer help to help me rake my leaves. So we started doing that, but like it's like I mentioned, anytime you get free help and family members, they don't move as somebody who's getting paid because they want to move on, get the job done, and move on to the next job site. So yeah.
Ooh, we got somebody in the chat room.
Hey, how's it going?
We'll react to it. Ustreamer884. If I can spell Ola, a little border lingo there. So, Ustreamer884848, we say hi to you as well.
Hi.
You can change your name in there or just at least post it so we know who you are.
Yeah.
Nice.
But no, we're doing well, so.
It's funny, last week doing the show, at the last 5 minutes, Mirabella Maris, who's one of the daughters of our pastor, she jumped in on the last 5 minutes. She was asking a question, and I was like, really? Last 5 minutes? And of course I was like, and signing off.
And signing off.
Hate it when that happens. Timing is everything.
Yeah, no. So, like I mentioned, how to take advantage of the help. The only thing is they took forever, and I was feeling bad because it was kind of like they came to help me, and then I didn't want to
crack the whip. Yeah, come on.
I didn't want to bell on them and say, well, thanks, guys. I'll see y'all later.
You're on autopilot.
Yeah. But no, we were actually able to just knock out the front yard. It took like 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, and your yard is not the smallest yard.
No, it's huge. And then, of course, I was telling them, if you guys are raking leaves and you see like these little bears or whatever running around, just kind of leave them alone. They're Ewoks, they live in the trees and stuff. And our user
848.
That is Monica.
Is it
Monica?
Really?
Hi, Monica. How are you?
How did you know that was her?
Because she texted me. She goes, it's me.
Well, she could put it on there.
Yeah, so hi, how's it going? Good for you to jump in.
Yeah, another one of our divers. We need to get back in the water with you, girlfriend.
Definitely.
She was one of the early members of the dive club. She helped found the thing, one of our early officers. So
Yep.
Definitely need to get her back in the water. So
she was my rescue buddy.
That's right, and also kick the mask off you.
She's kicked me in the face, the mask. Let's see what else. Amongst other things.
She says, "I'm trying."
Well, yeah, she's actually on this diet thing that I'm on too. Actually, she got me on into that.
So it's your fault, Monica. That's okay though.
Hey, I've lost 15 pounds. I'm happy. In 3 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, if only Dominic would take a hold of that and run with it.
Yeah, Dominic is he's Florida bound. He's in Florida.
He is officially in Florida.
Yeah, he's been there since just a little past, I think, the middle of February. I think he took off.
Yeah.
Wow. He made the move. So, yeah.
Well, good for him. And, of course, he's in a place where hopefully he's going to get back in the water. But, with his thing about whether he fits into his current wetsuit or not.
Well, he was down. He for his grandmother's funeral. She passed away 2 weeks ago.
That.
And he came down.
How old was she? Do you know?
I have no idea. He came down real quick for the funeral, and we actually met up at Applebee's for dinner.
Yeah.
And just kind of was talking to him. He was going to leave the following day.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I was talking to him. He's doing well. He looks good. He still can't find a job though, which is kind of
really in Florida.
Yeah, I think it's the selective nature of the position that he wants. It's a little challenging, but
sometimes you can't be as picky as you'd like just to get your foot in the door,
right? And
then see what other opportunities open up from there.
Something coming in is better than nothing coming in.
That is right.
But he's kind of doing good because he's still getting unemployment. He's
right.
on his unemployment
for now.
Yeah, for now. So he's not in bad shape. But he is looking. So hopefully, wish him. I told him I wish him.
That's right.
The
We'll put you in our prayers, man, that you get the right door open for you, and that you'll be prosperous and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, continuing on with a little bit of the tech news, Microsoft had an announcement this week. The Surface Pro 3. Of course, the anticipation, interestingly, leading up to this, that it would be the Surface Mini.
Oh yeah.
And interestingly, that's not what was released.
And I remember reading something on the USA Today that they were, I guess, guesstimating that they were going to come out with a mini, to kind of, because that's, what everybody's using.
Yeah.
But they didn't, huh?
Yeah. Now,
Wow.
Interesting. Of course, on the Windows tablet arena, there are already a bunch of minis. Dell's making them, Acer's making them, just Lenovo. Everybody's making minis of the Windows tablet. So there's not a drive to do that. But as in the last week leading up to the event, the rumors started circulating that they would be maybe making an additional Surface announcement. As it turns out, it was exactly reversed. The additional announcement was actually the Core, and they never did announce anything on the Mini. Now, supposedly, the speculation now is that the reason why that the Mini is actually ready itself as a device and actually has like 115,000 produced so far to getting ready to get to distribution. The holdup apparently, and again, this rumors could turn out to be not true, but the rumors is because they're still working out the final pieces for the Metro version of Office. Of course, they had the touch-based version go out to Android and iPads, but it's a different interface that they're using, obviously, with the Metro, and so they were putting the finishing touches on that. And so until they could actually say, here it is, you could pre-order, blah, 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 they didn't want to release it, even though the device itself is ready and being produced. It's just waiting for the final OS. So they announced the Surface Pro 3. Now, before I saw them rolling along, and because I watched it, I watched the announcement, I was like, well, I wasn't really excited at the prospect of a Pro 3, because I thought, well, the Pro 2 was a much improvement over the Surface Pro, but I wasn't really ready to toss money at it, because even with its features, I wasn't. My laptop. Let me get great Ronan up here. Say hi to everybody, Ronan. No, okay. So it wasn't quite ready to replace this as an 80 to 90% solution. This obviously has a DVD drive on it. So, that's a feature that I need on some occasions. Not that much anymore, but because of streaming, etc. But some of the other features, the external video and some other things that it can do, and the fact that it's got a full-blown keyboard and everything. As much as I really, really liked the Surface Pro 2, it wasn't quite there for the price. So I didn't have high expectations of the Pro 3. However, when they revealed it, I started showing more of what it could do, and for really no difference in the price for the starting level, I thought, okay, they have addressed most of the issues that I had concerns with before I was ready to plunk down that kind of money. So it's a little bit bigger. I'm not into the mini tablet. I want something that I can actually see everything on. I'm 51 years old. I already have to wear the silly specs to read. So and it's challenging enough on my smartphone, which does all the things that the typical mini tablet can do for me that I expect. If I want something that small, I want it to be a phone. And so probably a 5-inch phone, and that's supposedly what's coming down the pike in the next Lumia Hero device. That'll be pretty much right in the sweet spot for me. But anything outside that, I need a tablet where I can see everything, because quite frankly, I've now embraced a number of the Metro type apps as a replacement for most of the stuff that I used to do desktop, because I just don't need the desktop versions. I do have some legacy programs that I have to use because I have older keyboards and stuff like that the only software available to program it is legacy stuff that runs on the desktop. So I need something that I can install that software on, but is much more manageable as a form factor, and lighter to carry around. And this thing is pretty light. That performs like a tablet, so it's all the touch interface, but is not as heavy a behemoth as my current laptop. So they really addressed quite a few of the features that I felt were either underpowered or flat out missing. I mean, it's really, really high resolution. The ratio of the screen is better. It's a 4:3 or something like that, where it doesn't handle as funny as a widescreen, a 6:9 type. When you go portrait, that's funky.
Yeah.
Even though our phones are like that,
Right.
but that's okay. But when you're holding something like a tablet, that 6:9 form factor just doesn't. It's not. It just is a funky way to look at stuff. So, especially for the Windows operating system. So they've addressed that by changing that form factor to be closer to like what your typical tablet is. Now it's a little bit larger. It's 12-inch screen.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the first Surface and Surface Pro were the 10.8 or something like that. So they're a little bit larger than the iPad, but not much. But this is a pretty good chunk. They actually showed a picture on, I think, Paul Thurrott's site. Showed where it was with the iPad Air on top of it. And it's a pretty good, healthy size. But several people have commented that because it's so darn thin, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. But so that it looks like that will probably be the one I finally break down and spend the bucks on. So this thing, while it will still go with me to certain venues, I won't have to bring it for a lot of the common stuff that I was really needed to bring my laptop with. So I'm looking forward to that.
Wow.
So
what kind of specs does that thing have?
Okay, what we've got is
let's see.
All right. 2160 by 1440 resolution. So that's pretty tight. It's 11.5 by 7.93 by 0.3. Up to 9 hours of battery life.
That's good.
You have options, of course. You get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
You have options. The starting unit at $799 has the 4th generation. This machine is using 3rd generation iCore, but this is going to use you can have the i3, the i5, or the i7. And obviously, once you get to the i7 with like the maxed memory, that thing's going to be pushing $2,000. But for me, the i3, because my laptop is currently equivalent. It's an AMD, but it's equivalent of an i3 processor. So the i3 is going to be plenty good for me to do what I need it to do. But with that kind of resolution and that battery life, I'm a happy camper. They improved the kickstand. It's now got like almost full motion. I mean, it's not just 2 different clicks now.
Yeah.
You can recline this thing any level that you want.
Wow,
which
that's
is pretty
pretty
cool. They've improved the type cover. So it looks like they don't have the touch cover, which I was kind of disappointed in because I do like the touch cover because it's thinner, and I don't necessarily have to have the tactile response from being able to press down on keys. But on the older surfaces, the 1 and the 2, you could have the type cover, which was a little thicker and did have the tactile response. So far, they've only announced that they're going to have a type cover for this, but it comes in multiple colors. Yay, like that. The touchpad on there, they said, is much better than on the previous iteration.
Cool.
And interestingly, somebody asked, I don't know why you would want to, other than just to save yourself a little money, but people asked, is the previous version of the touch cover and type cover, will it work with this version? Because it's obviously a different size.
Right.
Yes, it will.
Wow.
It does work. Now, obviously, it's not going to cover the whole thing. But if you're more focused on, I don't want to spend $120 on another type cover when I have one already.
Yeah.
You can save yourself some money and use it. But it works because it uses the exact same magnetic connector. So at least they standardized that. I was like, okay, that's smart, because that means that they understand that the promise. Remember, I showed the video a few episodes back where some people had come up with they'd come up with all these different ideas for different blades that you could attach that do all sorts of things. Everything from like a fold-out piano keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, cool stuff. Great ideas as long as you keep that connector standard. If you deviate the standard, because look at how successful Apple has been. Their connector is the same. Well, it was.
Yeah.
Well,
I was
it is
gonna
now
say
too. It is now too.
Right.
But so they just changed it. But they opened up a huge cottage industry of third-party suppliers of all these appliances that work with both the iPad and the iPhone because it's a standard connector.
Right, and all they did, pretty much, for those that didn't, all you had to buy was a little adapter.
Yeah.
You know, which was
And so it still works.
$30, and you didn't have to go out and buy a whole new, device and whatnot. So that was pretty good. Yep.
Yeah, that was absolutely smart choice on Apple's
Well,
part.
you know, speaking about Apple,
I was going to say they have some stuff coming out
they got
too.
some stuff coming down. It's kind of hush hush, but supposedly.
But he's got the inside scoop. He knows people who know people.
Yeah, actually, I am an Apple developer, even though I haven't developed any.
Oh, you signed up? That's kind of like me with
Yeah.
the. I actually have developed stuff for Windows Phone,
I have, but
haven't published it yet.
I have all the tools there, but haven't actually used them. But no, anyway, rumor is that they got an iPhone, the iPhone 6, that's going to be coming out. That should be announced next week.
Right.
I mean next week. Next month in June, at their developers conference. They're of course I think they're going to go to a 5 or 5.1 inch screen,
Which is great.
Great. But there's, you know, when they did an actual poll, a lot of people were like, we don't need a bigger screen.
What?
Yes.
But everybody's buying these behemoth Android devices because of the bigger screen.
Because of the bigger screen. So they did a service, like an analysis or whatnot, and they found that, yes, there are a lot of people, because they are selling, you know, a lot, but people are comfortable with their iPhone at the current size, which was kind of weird.
Shocker?
Yeah, very, I was shocked. But, hey, we'll see what comes out.
What's your preference, by the way?
I kind of like my phone size the way it is right now. But if it were just a little bit bigger, it would be fine. I'm just concerned with the devices that I've seen lately, like the bigger screen phones or whatnot. Well, like your Lumia is big, but it's not thin. It's not as thin as like for example the Galaxy, and those things are all. Every time I've seen one, they're cracked.
Yeah,
the screens are cracked.
It's absolutely right,
because they usually carry them in their pockets or their back pockets, and they sit down and. Because they bend, you know.
Oh, what a horrible sound to hear.
Yeah, so, I mean, better knock on wood. I don't want to drop my phone and crack it. But, I hope they stay with the current thickness of the 5, because it's really not really thick, but it's, it's not really thin either. It's a sturdy device.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But, whatever they decide, I'm sure it's gonna be awesome, and I hope that they change at least some of it from some of the pictures that I've seen of like cases. They've changed. They've moved some buttons around. They've done some stuff. So I don't know. I
always worry when they start talking about changing the buttons, because there's a reason why people they've gravitated to a particular design, and they like that. If they ever change the buttons on the Lumia devices, I'd be very angry. I am so comfortable with where they're at.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be a downside.
See, like, mine already know where they're at. So, I mean, in my sleep, I can just,
Yeah, exactly.
So, but, hey, whatever they come up with, I'm sure it's going to be a great product. So, we'll just wait and see.
Yep. So, just a month away. Not even that, actually.
Yeah,
so that's
pretty
cool.
close.
That's cool. So, have you seen any movies since last we gathered together?
No, unfortunately, they don't let me out of my kennel,
Wow.
So haven't had a chance to go see any
We
movies.
were kind of hoping to see the new X-Men movie, but as I'm about to share, that we had something happen that kind of waylaid our plans. Actually, waylaid a number of plans for a long time to come. Time to come, as a matter of fact. But we did see Godzilla.
Oh,
we did see that
Godzilla
last week. Very good. I was impressed. It definitely didn't play to the comedy angle like the Matthew Broderick reboot
with
did.
the eggs and all the
Yeah.
babies and stuff.
No, this one actually, interestingly, they pulled off something I didn't think they'd be able to pull off. They actually, story-wise, kind of played it old school, like the Japanese movies, which are still made. They still make those. The guy in the rubber suit and everything.
Yeah, you can see the zipper on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like strategically placed makeup tries to cover that. But with multiple creatures, you know, being involved, you know, it becomes a battle of the titans kind of thing. And I thought, okay, this could go horribly wrong, or they've just pulled off a coup. And they pulled off a coup. I was really impressed. They even pulled off you kind of feeling sorry for and caring about Godzilla.
Really?
You know, whereas in the Matthew Broderick movie, there was none of that. You know, there was the whole mother thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, this one kind of played to the whole, you know, the planet will find a balance, you know, kind of thing, you know, and that's why all this exists, blah blah blah. So, you know, I threw that out in the garbage, but even in that context, you found yourself kind of going, "Aw," you know, for Godzilla, but not going, I can't believe they're going there with this.
Oh god.
So it was some brilliant writing and editing of the movie to give that kind of a drive, the kind of drive that it had as far as action, and still give you those moments where you actually care instead of like, oh, it's just destruction everywhere, blah, 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 smash, you know. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. So I definitely recommend you go see it.
Oh, okay, because you know, I really don't even know what movies are playing. I've been so
disconnected.
Yeah. You know, it was like I was telling Sandy, you know, it seems like, I don't know, I got on a diet and like my brain's dropped or something. You know, my dendrites
That's
are
what
dropping.
that mess was out there.
Yeah, no. And aside from being extremely busy at work, I guess the kids can feel that it's the end of the school.
Yeah, I've been hearing that from their youth at church. They're all excited. Got our tests out of the way, and we're all excited.
Yeah.
Why are we still here?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Well, that's good because they're excited for a good reason. I have others that are excited for the bad reason because they're like they don't care.
So
They're not going to graduate, so I don't really give a hoot.
Right.
And, you know, they're just making it difficult.
So they must behave.
It's an understatement.
That's a shame.
That's an understatement.
Parents, get a hold of your children's.
If not,
Discipline. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Gotta warn you.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I mentioned that I was filling tanks.
Yeah.
We got a little scuba event going on, or a group dive going on tomorrow. So if you are in the Del Rio area around 2 o'clock, head out to Spur 454. We'll have the trailer out there. We can do air fills, all that fun stuff. Have a little bit of gear I might let you use if you're missing something or whatever. But we got quite a few of us. Trish and Gay are going to be out there.
Cool.
Of course, Troy's coming because he's going to have to tow the trailer. This new couple that we met last weekend, Renee and Chris, Paradise. What a great last name.
Wow.
They came here from Guam. He's military. He works out the med group. They're both instructors, and he's actually tech. He does tech diving.
Ooh.
So I'm, been like, share stories. We definitely have to get him involved in the show so he can share some of his experiences,
definitely.
and I'm sure he's got some great stories to tell, to share with our folks out there.
Do I feel training coming on?
Huh? What do you mean?
Tech training?
Oh no, I can't see me getting into that, but I certainly will look at his rig and kind of see, because a lot of recreational divers are now using some sort of a modified form of the tech configuration because of its ease of use, etc. And so I'm sure I'll get to see that. They typically are diving with doubles.
Oh wow.
You know, because they do, of course, again the serious tech diving stuff. But they're going to be, and both their kids are certified too.
Oh wow.
So they will probably be coming as well. So
Awesome.
which is going to be cool. So we'll have their whole family, and then of course Troy will be out there. I'll be out there, and of course, obviously you're invited if you're available.
Okay. Appreciate that.
I'm trying to think of who else. Do we have anybody else sign up? Monica, you can come out too if you want to. 2 o'clock tomorrow, Spur 454. And I'm bringing the little portable grill so we can grill up some stuff. So we're gonna just kind of make an afternoon of it, relax, weather permitting.
Yes.
Man, it's been weird lately. We've been having not like full up rain, but like little isolated showers and drizzle here and there. So I'm hoping that if we get some of this tomorrow, it said we got a 40% chance tomorrow. So we'll see what happens, but I'm hoping it just kind of clears out, even if it's just partly sunny.
You know, even it can be 100% chance of rain. It doesn't rain, but when there's like 5% chance of rain, 10, it's storming.
Yeah, that's when we're gonna get
so
a deluge.
don't worry, it ain't gonna rain.
That's the deluge. Yeah,
40% ain't gonna rain.
Yep. All right. So wow, it's already pushing an hour. Title of the episode today is "It's a Miracle,"
Yes.
for good reason.
Yeah.
My wife, our producer Tara, was driving home from work on Friday and was heading out on Highway 90, which is 4 lanes, but it's split by a median or center area, all grass. So she was heading into town, and she was in the left-hand lane, so it was the passing lane, and there was a person in a gray silver type sedan who was not driving up to the speed limit. They were driving slower than the speed limit and weaving all over the place, which would indicate to you possibly what?
Intoxication.
Or other distracted driver texting or whatever.
Stereo,
any number of those.
phone,
any number of those things. So in other words, a distracted or impaired driver. Well, Tara, being prudent driver that she is, decided, okay, I want to get around this person as quickly as possible, put them behind me, so that there's not this disaster in front of me. So she picked an opportune point and started to, she sped up to the speed limit to move past this person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, this person swerved right into her, hit her right on the side. And of course, a sedan being lower center of the gravity, and the rodeo on a truck frame, it's actually a 4-wheel drive frame.
Yeah.
Got basically the way she got hit, it knocked the vehicle out of control. So she had just enough to basically decide, am I going center lane? I'm going off, but I'm going center lane, or I'm going off to the right side. So she went off to the right side. Well, unfortunately, that's close to where the railroad underpass is.
Right.
And it's kind of steep on that other side. So once she sailed off of there, it started rolling on its side. So it rolled twice. I actually have
footage.
I have some pictures. Yeah. So our poor beloved rodeo took a tumble. It just jacked up the wheel on that thing really bad. Yeah. And thank you, Lord, Tara was strapped in her seatbelt, which she always is, and came through no permanent injuries. She's sore today, and we went ahead and I drove her to the hospital, just have her checked out. The doctor did a CT scan, everything's clear, no abrasions or anything. I mean, because it was a sideways roll, she didn't smack the steering wheel. Matter of fact, you see, it did not deploy the bag.
Yeah.
But and didn't smack the windshield. But obviously those kind of forces, she said it was like being in a roller coaster ride or one of those theme park rides where it just kind of throws you all over the place, and you're strapped in tight. So she didn't feel like she was gonna fly out or anything. She had no fear. Yeah. That's when you're a believer, you got angels camped around you. So thank God that she came through that okay. She's just dealing with the soreness after the fact. So what's funny is she didn't feel any of it after, she got out, and the EMTs and the sheriff's department, because the actual county sheriff was a few car lengths behind her and saw it. So she's definitely, and so as far as I know, they still haven't caught the person, because it was a hit and run.
Wow.
But anyway, so they were like, "You're okay?" You know, they're like checking to see if something had to have been broken or internal injuries or something. So they did a quick BP check, a little high, checked a few other things, checked all her vitals in the ambulance, and they said, "Well, you know, you can take her or we can take her." And I'm thinking, it'll be costly if you take her.
Yeah.
And since she's fully ambulatory, I took her. And they did the CT scan and everything. He checked motor skills, and everything's good. So thank God there's no permanent injuries there. But as far as her, but there's definitely permanent injuries. I showed the pictures to our insurance agent, and of course I'm talking, when you file a claim, you end up talking to somebody on the other end of a line, even though you're at the agent's office. And they're like, "Well, you know, if it's repairable, here are your options." And, you know, I'm like, this is totaled. There's no way this is getting repaired. But this just shows you how well built these things are to roll twice. And you can see this is gray paint from the other vehicle.
Wow.
So she got smacked pretty good by this person. So, you know, it hit here, and that was enough to throw, I'm sure, the right side up and cause, basically, you're riding on two wheels and lose control. So it's no surprise that she lost control.
Yeah, I don't think that's fixable.
Yeah, that's not fixable. There was evidently some sort of a bar, probably a support beam or a crossbar or something from the suspension that was out in the grass too. But yeah, no deploying of any of the bags. You know what the other bummer about this, you know, now that, you know, since Tara is fine, we just spent nearly $1,000 on a new clutch on this thing. I mean, just like 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And so this vehicle, I mean, it pulls our trailer and you know, we rely on it a lot for everything that we're not using the Mustang for. And it actually had 145,000 miles on it, and it probably put another 145,000 on it if we wanted to. And now this forces us to go buy another vehicle on payments, because you can't replace that.
Right.
It's perfectly. Now we were planning to eventually do that. You know, we were going to replace the Mustang first, because it's in worse shape as far as mechanical issues than the rodeo. But now this forces us obviously to replace it now. So, and we've got to get on the stick on that. So we're hoping that the insurance company speeds us along. It doesn't help that we can't find the person who caused this.
Right.
You know, as believers, we have to forgive. I have no problem with that part of it. But it was just stupid to run off. You make it worse on yourself driving off. We've got your paint on our car. You're going to have damage that's going to be on the left side of your car, and that damage and that paint is going to look suspiciously like a match for our vehicle. So you're not getting far. So thank God Tara is okay, just dealing with the soreness afterward. Yeah. But you know, everybody that saw it, those who saw it happen, they just were shocked that she didn't get beat up. I mean, look, the driver's side window, door window is not smashed. Neither is the passenger one. It's all on
the other side.
Except for back up.
The rear window.
The rear on the left side. That one's shattered. But
well, it looks like most of the damage was sustained on the right side, causing it to shift in the back, which shattered the window. But everything else, it wasn't enough to shift.
Thank God it did. Yeah. That the initial force of the roll was on that side.
Yeah,
and that she ended right side up. That would have been really tough had she ended up upside down.
Yeah,
that would have been really uncomfortable. Trying to get out of the seatbelt and everything would have been painful.
Yep.
So, poor rodeo has lasted us this long and would have lasted us a lot longer had it not been for a driver who was either intoxicated or distracted. So, having said all that, I cannot stress enough, folks, texting and driving, phone calls, drinking, whatever it is, make sure you are completely paying attention. I get behind people all the time. I'm sure you do too, who are, a matter of fact, going home Friday as well. I was behind some guy who was like, push me, pull you, accordion driving. He would speed up and then slow down, speed up and slow down. He was all over the place. He was clearly trying to do something with his phone. He looked like he was trying to find a number. And then finally he got on the phone, and then he wasn't driving the speed limit. I'm like, that is why most of your devices have hands-free capability of some sort. Of some sort. And most of your really new ones have got full voice capability, especially if you've got a Bluetooth-capable stereo or similar system in your car. Get a Bluetooth headset. You just push a button, say call whoever. You don't have to fumble for a number. You know, I just press and hold on the button and say call Robert Garza.
Yeah.
And then it may say
who?
No. Yeah. You mean the guy that almost co-hosts the show? No. It'll ask me mobile or home.
Yeah.
Because I don't have your work number. Yeah. So it'll ask me that. And so I'll say, oh, mobile. And so it'll call you. I don't, other than pressing and holding, which doesn't require a lot of search. And if I have my Bluetooth headset in, it's just, I'm driving and I just press and hold. And I hear the beep that it's waiting for me to tell. And I do it. There's no excuse. This potentially could have been the loss of life.
Yeah.
As it was, it's a car. I'm angry that we lost a perfectly good vehicle. And now we have to go into payments because of this idiot. But ultimately, thankfully, Tara's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I have my wife, and our life is intact. But all because somebody was so selfish and inconsiderate that they weren't paying attention to what they were doing.
Well, how many times have I told you that when I'm, like, cycling, I've almost gotten hit because people are busy with their phones. You know, they're looking down and not looking at where they're going, and they start veering off to the side of the road, and it's like, hello, I'm right there.
Yep.
You know, and I see it. So it's... You know, and it happens, I think, at one point or another. I think we all have done something like that at some point, you know. Admit. But, yeah, and I admit too. But, you know, after seeing something like this, you know, you really stop to think it's like, you know, it's not really cool, you know, to be doing that.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah, exactly. So
technology is slowly, well, actually, not so slowly anymore. It's accelerating. Technology has removed really any excuse to do that sort of thing. You just gotta embrace the technology and use it. It's there for convenience and the gee whiz factor, but it also opens up avenues of safety that if you think you're that important that you have to text or call somebody while you're driving, use technology that allows you to still focus on what you're doing.
Right.
It's amazing. So Tara's okay, sore, so she probably won't be diving with us tomorrow, which is disappointing because, you know, she was actually looking forward to it. Even though she's probably going to have to wear she would have to wear a 5 mil
full. The 5 mil full, yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to be, hopefully the water is a little bit warmer than it was a couple, 3 weeks ago when I was out there.
They said we'll be in the suit, right, after you're in it?
Yeah, yeah. When I went out there in the 5 mil full 3 weeks ago, I was down for 45 minutes, and I was kind of wishing I had the 7 mil, but it wasn't horrible.
Wow.
But I like it warmer rather than colder. So we might have had enough warm days consistently that the lake is starting to warm up a little bit, even if it's just a few degrees, so that the 5 mil full is more comfy.
See, for me, I usually dive in the 5 mil when we would dive because to me, it takes me a little while because I have more insulation than you do, so it takes me a little longer to feel colder. But usually the fingertips is where I start feeling it real quick.
Yeah.
My hands get cold and forget it. My feet are fine because they're constantly moving. But my fingers, man, my knuckles get pain. They start getting pain.
Well, and thankfully the temperature, you know, being 62, 65, Was fine without the hood. I had, of course, my do-rag on, my bandana, which I always dive with. But no gloves, and I was fine. Hands were fine. No big deal.
Wow.
So, looking forward to tomorrow. That's weather permitting. Please let the weather be good, because I'm itching to get in there. Especially as many people as we have diving, it's gonna be fun to have a large group like that.
That's awesome.
You know, and then doing the barbecue thing afterward, and just kind of having fun and sharing stories and all that good stuff.
It's a shame that restaurant that.
Yes.
God, it's a shame it's not there.
Yes.
You know.
Yep, the farmers
The Angus
market.
burgers?
Yeah. Oh, those were awesome. Those were awesome. They had great onion rings too.
The onion rings rocked.
They were awesome. Awesome.
Man, the ham and cheese sandwich was pretty good.
Yeah.
The grilled cheese. There you go.
Right? Yeah.
Grilled cheese
Exactly.
Anyway, let's move on because I'm getting hungry.
We're just about done here.
I'm getting hungry.
Well, we're going to be finishing up pretty close to on time. So let us hit some administrivia. Dun dun dun. Okay, next dive club meeting, 19 June, 7 p.m. at Rudy's Restaurant. Some good food, and they have some good barbecue sauce, but some people like to bring their own Sweet Baby Ray's.
That's right.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Carry it in my backpack.
Yep, that's it. Do you really?
Yeah.
Or just for that? Or
just
you carry it all the time?
No, when I just go there.
Oh, okay.
It's horrible.
Okay. And dive class is coming up. Looks like I may have already 4 people signed up for the June course.
Ooh.
All from Campwood. Campwood, of all places.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no place to dive there. I was like, well, you're pretty much right there, unless you can dive the Rio or the Frio River. So anyway, June 26th through the 29th, you need to sign up, but not later than the first week of June. July 24th through the 27th, August 28th through the 31st, and September 25th through the 29th. And of course, we can do special requests, one-on-ones. Cost you a little bit more, but we can do that. Airfills are available at Broke Mill RV Park out on Highway 90 West. Just give them a call at 830-719-2935. And you can always keep track of us on Del Rio Dive Club. We post a lot of stuff like the upcoming group dive that's going on. Just look at our website, delriodiveclub.com, or Facebook, where we're really active there, Facebook/Del Rio Dive Club. Send us a message, email over Skype, Messenger. Just look for TGWD. And, of course, if you'd like to follow my venerable co-host, Robert Garza, you can jump on the Twitter.
Right there.
There it is. It's right below.
Right there. Right there.
It's hard to do that. It's kind of like doing the weather thing.
It is.
Can you imagine if we did the green screen?
Right there. Oh, my God. That would be so
cool. That would be because the software does support that.
Yeah.
I just have to actually paint or do something back here is green.
A green wall.
But I ain't paint my wall green for nobody. I don't care how good the special effect is.
What if it was purple?
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, I might do that. But anyway, follow him on the Twitter, rsgarza435, or send him an email,
yes.
rsgarza821 at Yahoo.
I do read my own email,
He
by the way.
does. He does not pay for assistance to read it. He will actually answer your emails.
Yeah.
Personally. Now, because it's email, you won't see his little hand signature on there, so you won't be able to make money off of that.
Exactly. So, but no, I do read my own email. Like I've said in the past, that was not affected by sequestration,
That's right.
So.
That's right. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter. Just look for Robert CFP, or send me an email, robert.wade@cetifox.net. And that pretty much finishes us up for this week. I'm going to spin up the camera for the excursion tomorrow, so hopefully I'll have some video and maybe some pictures to share with everybody next week on the episode. And again, a reminder, if you're in the Del Rio area on Memorial Day, come out to the Civic Center, 11 o'clock. We'll have a keynote speaker. I'll be singing at it, and we'll be honoring our Memorial Day service, our celebration of Memorial Day with the city that they do every year. And in the past, when we would do this, they used to read off those from Del Rio who died in the various wars, starting with World War II. And working all the way up to current battles. They didn't do that last year. So I'm just curious whether or not they'll do that this year. So we'll see. I don't know. So, again, we love having you here, Monica. We really appreciate you jumping in. You didn't really interact with the rest of the show after that. You probably were taking a nap or eating or something like that. Yeah. But, again,
having a shake.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, one of your little nutrition shakes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, those of you who are interested in nutrition, I'll do a quick plug-in on that.
There you go. Go for it. Go for it.
If you're interested in kind of dropping a little bit of weight by taking nutritious supplemental shakes, as far as, you know, supplementing food, of course you can't go without food, period, you know.
Right.
But, you know, drop a few pounds, you know, and do it the right way. You know, look me up. Herbalife works. Nice. It actually does. I'm a believer.
There you go.
There you go.
Heard it right here.
Mm-hmm.
Straight from my co-host.
You know, from somebody who just couldn't get away from eating, you know, how I used to eat, I thought, okay, a shake isn't going to do it. It's just not going to do it for me. You know, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It does work.
Awesome.
Of course, you know, there comes a lot with it. There's you got to try to eat better.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from a lot of the fatty foods and fried foods.
Yep.
But the key here is to also maintain calorie counts, you know, and that goes for anybody.
Absolutely.
And once you start on this path, you know, and you continue going with it, that's your key right there. And try to stick with it, you know. Big thing that I learned was 80% nutrition, 20% exercise.
Oh, okay. 80-20 rule even works. I was teaching a Lean Six Sigma class this week, and we happened to talk about the 80-20 rule. But so that works also with
and actually that's
nutrition.
That's the actual thing there, because the 80% is you have to eat well. You know, that you got to feed your body right. And then, of course, you got to exercise to burn off whatever it is that you're eating. So, you know, it's a balance. Yep. And that's what you learn in these things.
Cool.
So if you're interested,
and scuba diving is a one way to augment your exercise regimen without being really high impact. Although carrying gear up and down can be high impact.
You know, and actually you burn 400 calories a dive. Yep. If you do 2 dives, that's 800 calories. But that doesn't include the lugging of your gear and all of that, because that is physical activity. So you kind of find something to tweak in there.
Absolutely.
You know, during your calorie counter as far as exercise. So
now, do you have like an app? Speaking of that, do you have an app that you're using?
I actually do. Yeah.
Cool. Now, is it like a third-party app, or does Herbalife actually have an app?
Actually, Herbalife does not have an app. Yeah. I use an independent one. I use Track It.
Oh, that's cool. That one's cross-platform, because I've seen that on Windows Phone too.
Yes, it's excellent. You start with you can actually modify it to where you can input your current weight, and then you have your target weight, and it actually lists you how long it's going to take you to do it
based on normal healthy reduction.
Right? Because it'll only tell you the most you can do is 2 pounds a month, because that's good weight loss. Of course, the body naturally loses more as you're going along, but you can only do 2. So, like, let's just say you do a weigh-in on a Monday, then you go the following Monday and you weigh yourself, and you've lost 10 pounds. You type in your current weight.
Right. And it adjusts.
And then, of course, it adjusts, taking away calories that you can eat per day.
Right.
But then, you know, so it's cool. It sends you reminder emails and stuff like that. So it's really neat. And then it has a list of foods. If there's a food up there that you're gonna eat and you don't know how many calories it is, it actually comes with like a barcode scanner.
Yeah.
So you scan it, and it serves the net, finds whatever is yours, and automatically punches it in as part of your daily meal.
Weight Watchers has that same
exactly.
kind of thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So there you go. That's our commercial for today.
That's a commercial. I wish I would have been more prepared. I would have brought
samples
the
and
whole
we put
thing.
The logo up there.
I would have been here with a blender making shakes for us.
Now they're not actually a sponsor. Just that we will talk about things that we happen to support.
Right.
Like we like Diver Supply, and we like LeisurePro.com as far as websites to buy your gear.
And
they don't pay us anything.
This goes hand in hand with any kind of sport activity.
Yes.
Especially this, of course.
Precisely.
Being rescue diver, Monica, you too. Good health is the best thing, because we've seen, we trained for instances for various kinds of problems.
Right.
As a CPR instructor, me.
Yep.
It's just we prepare for that. So of course, naturally, best nutrition, healthy eating is the best thing. So
absolutely right.
Yeah. But don't ask me what I ate today, 'cause I cheated horribly.
That's okay.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. You know, you just had to poke my stomach and get that.
Well, there comes a time where you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings by turning something down, especially if they made it for you.
Thank you.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm on a diet, but... And then they give you that look. And you have to. Otherwise, you'll hurt their feelings. So, yeah, awesome. All right, so, listen, we have a great time. Monica, glad you were able to stop by.
Monica, good talking to you.
Hopefully, maybe we'll get to see you tomorrow. Like I said, if you're available, I know it's kind of tough wrangling the kiddos and all that fun stuff to get some free time. But you know what? You're going to have a whole bunch of people, some you know, some you don't. So, and if you're maybe just interested in being a diver and you got the afternoon free, come on out. We'd love to have you out there, and you can get to know some folks, divers and non-divers, and because there are going to be a number of our friends that aren't divers, they're going to be out there too.
Right.
So it's just an opportunity to have fun. You don't have to be a diver. And matter of fact, for those who can't dive because maybe it's just not their thing, or for health reasons they're not cleared to become certified divers, we always need shore support for different things, and it's just fun to be part of that environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun to be with a group of people who know how to have fun on a number of different levels. So we'd love to see you out there. That's Spur 454. You're heading out to the lake on Highway 90. You come around the big curve, you'll see the Ranger Boats big shop just off to the left here, but you'll peel off to the right and just follow that through, and it'll look like you're going through everybody's fence and everything. You're just going through gates and stuff, and seems like you're out in the boonies, which you are, but just keep following that down. If you get all the way to the water, you've gone too far. So back up a little bit. On the right-hand side, you'll see a little, dirt road that looks like it's going out onto a cliff area, and that's exactly where we'll be. You'll see the trailer and all the vehicles and everything. So we'd love to see you out there. We'd love to have you participate in our show, because we have a great time interacting with folks. Ask us any questions. We won't tell you any lies. We may say, I don't know, but we won't tell you any lies. But we always have a good time. Yeah. And so hopefully we will see you back here next week for another exciting episode of Two Guys Who Dive. See ya.